What's a secret? Hey, good morning, everybody. It's that time. It is Friday, September 11th, 2020, Patriot Day, and it's time to take a break with Drake, America's Bible teacher. But you probably can tell today is a guest day. We do. We have a guest. And Drake always loves to tell the story of how we met this guest, but we're going to give her the opportunity to share this from her perspective today. I will say that she is a very talented young woman, although, we haven't necessarily, I have had the benefit of her skills. So without further ado, let's bring on Dr. Jennifer Melanson, PTDPT. A physical therapist. Did I say everything right, Jen?
You did. It was perfect. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning.
Now, wait, honey, that sentence, I have had the benefit of her skills. What does that sentence mean?
Well, she is a physical therapist, and I had a sore shoulder at one point in time, and she helped me. You remember that, Jen?
You have received the benefit of her skills.
Oh,
you have been blessed by the benefit of
Yes,
her skills.
I have been blessed by Jen many, many times. So, Jen, tell us how you met us, because Drake always tells the story.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the way Drake tells it. Well, in 2018, I was living in Lafayette, Louisiana, and I decided to do travel physical therapy. And my very first job was in North Carolina, and I found you guys on Air BNB, reached out, sent an email, and talked to Serena, and we chatted on the phone, and just really hit it off. And so I lived with you guys for 4 months while I worked in rural northern North Carolina. And when I showed up the first day and knocked on the door, and Drake answered, and then, Drake, what do you like to always say? Who did I remind you of?
I froze, and I actually froze when I opened the door. I thought, does Serena have a daughter that I don't know about? Holy moly, you look like one of our kids.
So
it's
yeah,
true. It's true. It was so funny. And he says, and he calls me up later, and he says, Serena, is there something you need to tell me?
Did you have a baby in junior high?
So yeah, fantastic. Welcome and great time being with you guys in North Carolina.
Now you were in the top of the staircase, the room on the left, and you go up and turn left and turn left. That was your room, right?
Yes, it was.
That was 4 houses ago.
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago already.
Yeah. So you came, and then you were at our place for 4 months, and then we moved up to a farm setting to make room for some extended family. And what did you do the rest of the school year?
I finished out that school year, and then I went on to rural Georgia that summer, and then out to Brentwood, California in the San Francisco Bay Area for the following beginning of that school year.
Okay. Fall 2019. Yeah, Brentwood's kind of a poshy area, right?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got to double check. Are you in Louisiana right now?
I am, yes.
Okay, good. That's what I put under your
yes.
name, because you were at one point going between Texas and Louisiana. So then after all of North Carolina, Georgia, California, how did you end up back to where you are now? Oh, and by the way, good morning, Eric Dean. Lindsay, good morning. And Dan Best. All of our friends are showing up today. Good to have you here.
So I ended up in the North Dallas and Dallas area for 2019 and the beginning of this year. And then COVID happened, and the Lord started just kind of laying out some new things for me. And I ended up actually moving back home to Lafayette, Louisiana on the 4th of July. So that's how I ended up back in Louisiana.
I did not know that. I thought Texas, but wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't keep you updated.
It was pretty recent.
Honey, I need to know where our children are. It's 2020. Do you know where your children are? I'm serious. You really felt like one of our kids because,
Yeah.
among all of our children, from all the, orphans included and everything, it didn't feel didn't feel strange having you in the place
Oh,
in the house
we
for
had
4
so
months.
much fun, and I became a follower also of the Instapot or Instant Pot
yes.
because of Dr. Jen. She has one, and she's really good. You're good about doing advanced cooking and meal planning. So that was awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but so you.
Well, so then.
Yeah. You go ahead. You can ask a question.
Well, what drew you to physical therapy? I mean, what was the trigger where you said, I've just got to do this. I love this, or I need this, or I need to do this,
or it needs me.
Yeah. What was the doorway you walked through for that?
It started off in the 8th grade when a friend of my sister, who was going to be a senior that year, and both of our moms taught at the same small private Christian school, she said, well, you're here all the time after school, and I need help being a football trainer. Do you want to do it? And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I'm here. I can do this. And we went that summer, and I learned how to tape ankles and just, basic first aid. And I started being a football trainer, and I fell in love with it, and those were my guys. And so for all 4 years of high school, I was a student trainer for all the athletes, and then ended up doing that for a year and a half in college. And I was about to apply to the athletic training education program, which was going to be like 5 semesters and 900 observation hours. And I ran into a trainer friend of mine, and we were talking, and he was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I should also add that my grandmother had a really bad stroke right around that same period of time. And thankfully, she recovered well and was able to go back home and live independently again. And so I was like, Cody, I think I want to be a physical therapist. And so switched majors to get more prereqs done in a shorter manner. And so that's how I ended up in the PT field.
So, but you started doing this after your 8th grade of school.
Mm-hmm.
What made me I didn't mean to grin so hard right when you started telling the story, but I thought, I was a big tough guy on the varsity football team. In my junior year, I made first string. I mean, I beat out 3 seniors for tight end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and if I go in to get my ankle taped, and an 8th grade girl comes in to tape my ankle, I'm thinking, hey, Cookie Monster, not you. Come on. that would have just struck me as funny.
I'm sure once they saw her do one, they're like, whoa.
Okay,
that was a skill to be acquired, but I had it down pretty good. I could probably still tape ankles in my sleep even today.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Done it thousands and thousands of times. So
wow, that's awesome.
But now she has progressed to different types of taping. So
yes.
tell us about this transition into what you're doing now, because you're specializing in a specialty that many people probably haven't heard of or even know about.
Yeah. So I recently started my own company last year, and I done a little bit of rebranding with tons of help from Serena as the Scar Lady. And several years ago, I learned that scars can have a massive impact on the body in multiple layers, more than just what I previously knew, because they can affect our bodies, our brains, our movement, and our emotions. So putting together online resources for people to be able to have physical and emotional help and healing from scar trauma or skin trauma that they may have not known that they needed, but it's really, really powerful work, and working on your skin and your scar tissue can make massive changes in how your brain is able to move you and provide stability, especially if those scars are on your abdomen or your back, or function of your joints or your extremities.
So
wow.
So tell so that's amazing, first of all, because I think even people watching today could probably identify with, okay, yeah, I have some scars either from surgery, maybe they had and they were in an accident and had to get stitched up, or yeah, talk about some other ways that scars happen to the skin.
Sure.
Because that's not everything, I think.
No, it's not. This one is surprising to most people, but tattoos are actually scars because of all of the tiny breaks in the skin to inject the ink. It's formed scar tissue and the skin is broken. When people have dermatological procedures like microneedling, even things like getting IVs, injections, Botox, anytime you pierce the skin, even if it's a teeny tiny little fracture, when it heals, it makes a scar.
Amazing. And also if somebody has been burned.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Another way that your skin has to do something to repair itself to some degree. And scar tissue develops. That's amazing. So, of course, I learned all of these things from Jen's book, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But the scar. So, when did that become so prevalent? When you started noticing that connection and made that switch? Because it's fairly recent, right?
I actually learned about this about 4 years ago and started incorporating it into my work. And I just realized that my patients had so much better results if they did have prior skin trauma or current if we incorporated that treatment in. And it just became this thing that I really love to talk to people about and, really took a much more thorough deep dive into people's past traumas and things on my initial evaluation. And then I decided about a year ago that this is what I wanted to specifically specialize in because people need to know.
Yeah, for sure. Drake is sitting here stunned. Can you tell?
No, this is I'm astounded by this. Our daughter, Daniela, got a forehead scar that cut to the bone, the white skull. Oh, wow. You could see her. Mm-hmm. And I remember when she was getting stitched back up, I'm just crouching next to the operating table, putting a hand on her. For 2 hours, I couldn't stop crying. Just little angel, what an angel baby. And that was when she was 3, almost 4. It was just a smash-up thing at the house, and she hit the corner of where 2 walls came together, and it wasn't the rounded corner, it was a sharp corner, and it cut her. And I noticed that come the next spring or summer, she wanted bangs so she could kind of foof it down in front of her scar to hide the scar, because it was all the way through. And so it
was
traumatic for you.
It was traumatic for me, but she wasn't even 4 years old when she wasn't even 5 years old. She's like, I want to cover this thing. I want to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you deal with that where people are like, hey, let's fix this, repair this, remove it, cover. Let's.
Well, I don't think you're removing the scars, right? You're helping. What do you help the scar to do?
So when scar tissue locks everything down and puts 2 open pieces back together, it locks the skin back down, but it also can block the movement of fascia, which is connective tissue, and that allows the muscles in the skin to glide and slide on each other like they're supposed to. So I've designed a 3-step protocol, and the first step is to get your skin to move better. So I teach folks how to do that. And then you can get your body to move after that. So in your daughter's example, since it was on her face, parts of her homework would be facial exercises like scrunching your face and just moving all around, because that helps the brain to reconnect with the muscles, because scars tend to hijack proper muscle function. And then the third step is to get to build strength, because once the signal is repaired, we can actually build strength again. And the brain learns by repetition, so it's like we got to practice to get things to where your brain easily uses the muscles properly instead of going back to the path of least resistance, which is what it's probably done for years as a way to compensate to keep you safe and functional and moving.
Well, I've never heard anybody who had such a deep understanding of this.
You got to get closer to this microphone.
That is that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
wow.
you have scars which you've shown me. So
yeah.
you might need some.
I don't
know if you can.
Is that visible?
It's blurry.
It's too blurry. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
but we might have to try this protocol on
yeah,
Drake.
My whole left arm looks like I've come through the Bosnia and the Crimean War.
Well, it looks like he fought with Wolverine, is what he did.
Yeah, it looks like Wolverine came after him. This was falling on the way. This was a scaffolding gave out on me in 1991, wow. 29 years ago, this last summer. And this is trying to catch myself, and I cruised past a stucco thing covered with razor wire, and it just
sliced right up. Huh?
Yeah, cut my arm in several slices to the meat. And the doctor said, it's just a guy, and he just kind of next thing, let's deal with the kidney. So,
well, yeah, the kidney was pretty critical, so
they
I'm sure.
That would have been fatal if it wasn't dealt with. So they thought, later.
So given a case like Drake, where it's been many years, what might is it possible that he would benefit from the SCAR protocol, even though it's been so many years?
Absolutely, it is never too late to work on a SCAR. I'll tell y'all a fun story.
Okay.
I had a patient who was in her I think she was in her late 70s, but she'd had her hip replaced 8 years before and just had terrible chronic pain for all of those years. And the doctors did x-rays and MRIs, and the hardware was intact, the alignment was good. They're there's nothing surgically we can do. So they ended up sending her to physical therapy. Well, when I looked at her scar, it was like she had a huge indent in the side of her thigh. It made a crater.
Wow.
So we started doing scar work on her, and her pain went from an 8 out of a 10 to a 2 out of 10 in maybe just 2 or 3 visits. Because I taught her what is now the Scar Lady protocol, and we did a lot of manual therapy on the scar too to help get it to move better, and taping. That way her brain got feedback for the scar to improve even when she wasn't actively working on it. And we were able to get her, by the time we discharged her, she was pain-free and was walking without a limp and didn't need her cane anymore. And it was amazing. So it's never too late to work on a scar. And even if you don't feel like there's anything wrong with it, even by just working on it and freeing up that connective tissue, and like Drake, you could move your wrist and your elbow and reactivate all those muscles, your brain's going to thank you because you just took a layer of stress out of it.
Are you insinuating that my arms lack muscles?
No, I think you are a big, strong, manly man.
I'm absolutely covered with muscles. I met Schwarzenegger 17 years ago, and I'm still kind of buzzed about it.
Yeah, he just looked at you, and your eyes met, and that voice just went inside.
He told me I looked fantastic.
That's great.
So tell. I happen to know some of these stories because we've had opportunity to talk several times over this past...
Lindsay says, "What a wise woman."
Yes, she does. This is what Lindsay says. Go ahead, read that.
Wow, what a wise woman. The Scar Lady is you have such an amazing ministry. Kelly Vanderpaul, she's an identical twin, and she's married to a fighter pilot, by the way. We're going to have dinner with her tonight. She's watching.
Yes.
And
yes, and
this is really great. I mean, I'm quite oblivious to this. Now, Serena has been in on the editing and the graphic design and such of Jen's new book. It's much newer to me because I've been out across the state of Washington these last few weeks. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure everybody knows how to get this book. This is
okay. Well, sure, we can talk about the book right now, and then we'll tell some more stories. So the book, I'm just popping up the e-version here, and tell us where people can get this book.
Sure, it's called Scars More Than Skin Deep, and it is available on Amazon Kindle right now. And I ordered paperback copies in the wee hours of this morning.
Did you really? Okay, well, I'll show them a picture of that too. And there's the physical.
Yeah, no, we have the
it's floating.
Book.
Yeah.
Jen, can you see this? The book is up on the screen.
She can't see it. Yeah, she can't see it. She's just trusting that we're doing
this right now. So yeah, this is really awesome for restorative work, because I mean, when Jesus, people had trauma, pain, anguish, anxiety, loss of all type, including people who had lost relatives, and Jesus comes by, and all the pain is gone as soon as they meet Jesus, including hunger pain and all anxiety of all sorts, all and the ostracism that the bleeding woman felt, that the lepers felt, that's gone, and you're taking people's pain away. That has fascinated me since I was a child. I remember being 8 years old. Dad's reading to us about the man let down through the roof, and he gets done. He says, "Kids, this is a real story. It's a true story." I thought, my 8-year-old mind. Now, I wasn't a neurosurgeon yet at 8 years old, but I woke up. Man, did I wake up as an 8-year-old listening to Jesus, and you're taking people's pain away. That's fascinating. It's a most noble calling.
It's true.
Just an anecdotal comment there. I don't know if it leads to the next thing. But
well, no, you're fine, honey. It's a great reaction.
Yeah. Are there other places the book? I mean,
so
like do a search, or is it Amazon only?
Serena and I will be doing a little bit of switching around today. I'm actually launching a couple of amazing products today, and it will be offered as part of the Scarlet Lady bundle, which will include the ebook, and I wrote a book. Well, it's really a journal called the Scarlet Lady Journal, and it's a guide to help people process and heal based on skin trauma and surgery. So there's prompts to dive into. Like if it would say a scheduled surgery, let's use a C-section birth, for example. Like how were you doing emotionally before that? What were your thoughts? What were your fears about the surgery and procedure? Like going through the experience, like what did you feel? What happened? Did you deal with it? Did you, give your body permission to release the trauma it was holding from that, just to help people process and get another layer of emotional freedom. And then I show you how to use kinesiology tape to tape your scars, because you can have 24/7 work on your scars by using tape on your skin, because your brain gets that different feedback, and that makes massive changes. Even though it seems like a really small thing, it's very, very powerful and can help people on their road to recovery.
Gee whiz. Your comprehensive understanding of this is astonishing. Wow.
So tell us, I mean, I know there's some story. I mean, you don't have to tell about specific stories, but can you describe what you have noticed when somebody experiences a major emotional release because of scar work?
Yeah, absolutely. Oftentimes we'll be working on a scar, and sometimes it's literally as small as like me touching it, and I'm trying to assess for where the skin doesn't move. And I always watch their eyes, because the eyes are the gateway to our bodies. And sometimes even just something as small as somebody else touching a scar, people will tear up. And then your brain stores trauma and scars, so sometimes literally touching it, they're right back there at whatever happened that was traumatic, and remembering sights, sounds, smells, emotions, fears, where they were at. So it's a really beautiful opportunity to get them to choose to say, hey, brain, like I give you permission to let go of this trauma you're storing in this scar. And I have them speak it out loud, because we know our words have incredible power. And it uses more parts of your brain, so we're getting the message because you're speaking it, you're thinking it, you're hearing yourself. Say, okay, brain, we can let this one go. And body, we're going to give you permission to jump back in and work the way that you're supposed to. So it's really cool and powerful, and sometimes people feel a lot better even just with that simple act of giving your brain permission to let it go and your body to work right again.
Holy moly. I'm getting my eyes open again like I was 8 years old. Back when I was 8 years old. This is 50 years later, but this is a new layer of OMG. Oh my goodness. To me.
Yeah.
So wow,
yeah.
this is really great. I'm gonna have to learn how to read so that I can get the book and read it. Well, Serena will teach me how to read this weekend, and then your book will come, and both of you are laughing at my pain.
Well, maybe Jen can record her audio version at some point in time.
That would be very cool to come up and visit and do that. Drake, actually what I was thinking when you said that, I was like, I have your book on my bookshelf, so I think we know how to read.
You know how to read and write.
Yes, I've written...
You can even do arithmetic.
I've written 9 books and read about 3,000 books.
Leave it.
Oh,
yeah.
So yeah, this is amazing, and I'm just gonna put some of your Instagram handle. I've been keeping your website up there, thescarlady.com. Of course, you can go to Jen's website to get all this information, and please be checking over the next few days because Jen is going to be rolling out some new stuff, which we're super excited about. And then here's her Instagram handle.
Oh,
and so what's great about following Jen is that. You have been giving out like tips every week that have to deal with just everyday how to live smartly within your body, because sometimes we do dumb stuff with our bodies.
Yeah.
But you have like smart tips that you share. When do those come out typically?
I share those on my personal page, Jennifer Melancon. So if you want to send me a friend request, that'd be awesome. I usually try to do them for Wellness Wednesday every week. Some days it's Tuesday, some days it's Thursday, but I try to put out a helpful tip related to healthy living or exercise, something like that, about once a week.
She just said that was your Facebook page, you just said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, honey, can you put that up, because she just said it, but people aren't going to spell it right or something?
Oh, well, her name is right there underneath Jennifer Melancon.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean...
Now, Facebook page is that same thing. Because, Jesus tells us, heal the sick, raise the dead, cast out devils, set people free, declare the kingdom of God. And people think, well, I can't do that. What do I do? To send people to Jennifer's pages helps people get healed. So,
or send yourself.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I knew a guy that he was so sick and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. Well, he's drinking 2 liters of Pepsi a day.
Ooh.
And stop. Yeah, I could tell him, you can't stop that. Somebody that I don't eat any salad, I don't eat any greens. Well, you need to. Otherwise, it's like you're never taking your car in to get serviced, because all that stuff works healing for you. I mean, we can do that.
You mean I can't have a Pepsi and a sack of M&Ms?
Not 2 liters and a pound of M&Ms a day. I know people that do that, and they can't figure out why they... Blah, 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 blah. So helping people get over garbage and eating right and doing right and dealing with the scars. This is really... I don't know. I'm really intrigued with this.
Well,
this is cool.
I figured you would be.
And I want to tell people, guys, share this. Punch, share on this. This is spreading the news of healing, and I have 3 books on healing, so this is really wow. Spread the news of healing. On this
I'll put the book
broadcast.
up one more time. There we go. Scars, more than skin deep. Boy, even the title ended up going through some renovations throughout the process, right?
Yeah.
Everything got revamped. I thought I was done, and then we ended up having to revamp the title and the cover, and we reformatted it so it looks lovely. Many thanks to Serena, because she created that beautiful cover for me, and it's got great pictures in it, color pictures that help bring home the points. And I kept it on a very easy to understand level, because the brain science behind this stuff is it's incredible, how God made us and how complex everything is. But I wanted to make it understandable so anybody could pick it up and understand the concepts and have great pictures to be like, oh, that's what fashion connective tissue is. So, and how, oh, it affects, it's stuck down here, but it affects everything down the chain. Well, there's a great picture to show that in the book. So
she uses a couple big words, but it's okay because you can get a dictionary and
the words are big like my arms.
There's actually a glossary in the back, so all you got to do is flip to the back and grab that simple definition. Yep.
Yep. So, I would think that the website's probably the best way for people to go where to send them initially so they can see all your stuff and connect with you. Is that right?
Yes,
okay.
That would be great.
thescarlady.com, which it's amazing that you got that domain. You own the Scar Lady now everywhere. So, which is awesome. I know sometimes because it's simple, but nobody's taken it yet. Like the lady who does the blinds, the blind lady.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm. Oh goodness. Anyway, Jen, we're such big fans, of course. We have been from the start. And thank you so much for being on the show with us today. And we usually have Drake. Drake usually gives the benediction. So
thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Are you going to bless us out, babe?
Shall I?
Yeah.
You try that day, honey. You know it.
What? No.
No. It doesn't. Okay.
It's got to be you.
Yes.
You're the dude.
Yes. For the cause of our Savior, and Jen is a believer, by the way. She's.
If you couldn't tell.
Yeah. She's not just an Easter and Christmas visitor to church. She's a deep believer. But for the healing of our hearts, minds, bodies, and souls, and as we call on the presence of Christ, know this, that the Lord blesses you, the Lord will keep you, the Lord makes his face to shine upon you, the Lord will lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace, wholeness, wellness, healing, and rest.
Have a great Amen, right? Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yay.